pretty good. All right, we'll take it.
Awesome.
All right.
Hey, good morning, guys. How are we?
Good morning.
So loud. Man, this thing is really loud, and I'm going to get out in front of this thing and apologize for it. I got stuck with playing with the volume of stuff today, so we're going to go one of two ways. It's going to be really good or it's going to be really bad. Either way, we're just going to pretend it's really good. All right? Getting into this stuff, talking about Facebook. I do want to talk about this again. I know you guys are sick and tired of hearing it, but I've got something pretty cool to talk about with it today that I'm super excited about, at least. And that is that I'm sure you guys saw it. We put a post of a family, we kind of know that needed some prayer for their little girl from the tornado. Did you guys see that? Okay. Now, when you are logged into the church's Facebook, you can see how many people things are reaching, where it's going. So the whole point of the post was we just wanted to get it out there for people to pray for it, right? Okay. 180,074 people is the reach that that post had. Okay? Yeah, go ahead. It's really cool. So when we're talking about these things, about things we need you guys sharing and commenting and liking, that's exactly what we're talking about, right? I mean, the fact that a post we made hit 180,000 different people, I think it's pretty cool. The other cool thing is there's two ways to push stuff on Facebook, and you can pay for ads, where Facebook just puts it out all over the place, or you can do it organically, which is what we do, which I think is way cooler, right? That's how I would rather do it. It's just, I don't know, I think it's really cool. So I just want to thank you guys for that. I know that like the last 6 months of me complaining about Facebook has been super tiring. And also, we will have updates on what's going on with that situation. So watch the Facebook page. Super Sunday, March 22nd. It's a good Sunday. All right, everybody brings a suit. We hang out a little bit after service. Typically, the best part is that Kyle preaches a couple minutes shorter because he wants us to go hang out. Okay, so I'm all for it. But bring a suit. If you don't like to make soup, bring crackers, cheese, sour cream, that kind of stuff. If you don't want to do any of that, still come. You know, we don't, when we bring one, I know for me especially, I hate taking home crock pots half full of soup, things like that. So just come hungry, come hang out with us. We want to get to know you guys. I do have small group announcements today too. All right, let's see. We'll do the men's group first. We're going to see Danny. Danny, if you don't mind, hop up, wave at everybody for me. Saturday, March 21st, 6 p.m. at Danny's house. There will be a small fire. It will be regulated, okay? Nothing crazy. It is BYOM. It's bring your own meat. And we will grill it up. We're planning on getting there about 6. Kyle's email said 12:30 is when we were going to go home that night. Kyle will be home by 7:15. And Danny will be ready for a nap by about 7:30. So nothing crazy. I just want to hang out with you guys. The ladies are having a small group Thursday, March 19th at 6 p.m. That will be at Miss Amy Richardson's house. I do not see Shelly. If you don't mind waving for me, Amy. She's back here. So if you have any questions on how to get there, see her. The address is in the email. If you have any other questions about that, just see Miss Shelly Hickman, which I don't see her, but I'm sure they will come straight in. All right. Important one for today. We need help setting stuff up, and we need help taking stuff down, and we need help with the iPad, and we need help with Kyle. He needs a handler, and we need help with just getting stuff settled and organized. So, me and Kyle were talking about this morning, and something we're going to try is we are going to attempt. When I say attempt, I mean I'm going to will us to do this, to make a schedule for setting things up and taking things back down, okay? I think it'll be easier that way. That way we all know kind of who's going to be here versus all of us just kind of struggling or rushing to figure out who's going to be here, who's not. You know, I'm not as good at setting this stuff up as maybe Mike or some other people. So also we want to, we're getting it. The other thing too is that, you know, we want you guys to learn how to do this. I didn't know how to do anything when I started coming here, and I got lucky and these guys taught me how to fake my way through setting up speakers and the system and the laptop and all that stuff. Also, another reason we're making a schedule. Pack your bags, we're all going on a guilt trip, okay? Except me, because I was here. But here's the deal. This morning I'm unloading the trailer, Kyle's unloading the trailer, look over, and Sweet Wife Jan's unloading the trailer. along with Ed, and I'm like, all right, we got to do something better. All right, there's plenty of us out here. A lot of you guys have asked us how to help, so that's how we're going to do it. We're just going to try to make a schedule. So after church, if you want to start setting things up or take things down, come see me. Do not go see Kyle. Come see me. I want to get this done, okay? We are having a bonfire for the youth group. That is this weekend, okay? It is at the Parker's home, which is at 2764 Valley Creek Road, Calliope, okay? If you need a ride, let me know. If you need a ride and you don't like me, let my wife know, okay? We will get you there. There is a sign-up sheet out here by the cookies. Parents, I'm looking at you, but also non-parents. If you want to get stuff, that's great too. We just got a couple more things we need to pick up to get everything done for that. All right, March 29th, we're going to be having a family day, which means we are not having church, okay? We are doing nothing, all right? It's also just as important in your worship to be home with your family, spend time with them. So March 29th, we will not be having church, so we can all hang out. Teacher lunch, March 23rd. Madison's going to kill me because I didn't write down the stuff I told her I was going to. They're going to be setting up for this here at 7:15 that day. All right? This is a good thing. You know, obviously we talk about wanting to help our community all the time, help support what's going on. Obviously we have church at the school, so this is something we're excited about doing. All right? Madison told me pretty much everything has been signed up for, except someone coming to help her set up. And also, if you want to come hang out, obviously come hang out. Come hang out. Madison shaking her head, no, come hang out.
They won't have school that day, come hang out.
Come hang out. No, seriously, talk to Madison. I'm going to get us all in trouble. But the other thing with this is that if you would like to donate some money for us to buy Boston butts to then create pork out of, pulled pork, that's great. If not, Sweetwater will cover it. But if you guys do want to get involved but you can't give time or anything like that, talk to Madison and she will help you get that stuff squared away. We also have giving statements today out front. I believe Kim and Madison will be at a table. So if you've done PayPal, check, or online, any of that stuff, your tithes will be there for last year for your taxes. It's a lot of grown-up stuff I don't understand. I push the button, the standard one, I don't care, probably getting ripped. But if you care and you keep up with that stuff, we will have that for you. I don't think I forgot anything, so I'm going to go ahead and pray, and then we're going to get started. All right? Lord, thank you for giving us a place to come this morning, Lord, and just be with you. I pray that you'll be with Dan this morning. As they lead us in worship, Lord, that you'll be with Kyle as he talks to us about when the church started, you know, back in Acts. That's it. Love you, Lord. Amen.
There we go. Good morning. All right, if you guys want to stand with us, we're going to do a couple songs. The first one's called Stand in Your Love. here to lift you up, here to lift you high. If you're lost and wandering, come stumbling in like a prodigal child. See the walls stop crumbling, but the gates of glory open wide. You guys pray with me. Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for everybody who can be here and be in your house and worship you, Lord. Just watch over us today. Be with Kyle as he brings the message to us. Watch us as we leave here. Let us go out, shine our light, and be a message for you, Lord, throughout every step of our life instead of just here at church. So take care of the hurts and the pains that everybody has. Watch over the people who are sick. Be with Nashville, Lord. We've had a devastating time with the tornadoes. Just help us bring aid and bring peace and bring comfort to those people that need it. All these things we ask in your name. In Jesus' name, amen.
Good morning, everybody.
You're all mine.
Okay, good.
But I can't hear you in the speakers, you know.
Can everybody hear me?
No.
I'm on. This is fun. Hey, Ben. Ben's right behind you. You can probably fix it for you.
It's got her. It was the off button.
It was the off button.
Yeah, no, so it turns out the sliders.
Okay, next slide. So we're going to do Simply Church. We're going through Acts, the end of Acts. I'm going to summarize it very quickly. So if you want to thumb it in your Bibles, Acts is right after the Gospels. It's the beginning of the church. So we're going to finish Acts 1, and then we're going to go straight into Acts 2, and we're going to get through it. I tried to get all of Acts 2 this week, so we don't take 3 years like I keep joking about, but it's just too much. Like, there's too much really good stuff. I couldn't do that to myself, and I couldn't do that to the gospel. So we're gonna just go as the Lord leads. And so Simply Church is really just about how the church gets started, but this is a direct application to us, to our church, and to how we go about our business as being church people, but also as followers of Christ. All right. So I didn't put any highlights on this one for you guys, but I will later on. Obviously, the highlighted parts are your parts. This is a paraphrase. What I mean is, it was a really long part, and I just condensed it so it makes sense really quick. All right. So this is, you will find all the words in the Bible, but it's not the exact same as you will find in the Bible. So I definitely highlighted paraphrase so you don't kill me. All right. They prayed and said, this is the apostles. They just started, right? And then now they're down one because Judas was killed, right? We went over that last week. He got killed, right? As they say around here. They prayed and said, Lord, show which one of these two, they have Matthias and somebody else, I can't remember, you've chosen to occupy this ministry. That's the apostle, that's the 12th one. And apostleship from which Judas turned aside. And the lot, so they drew lots, which basically was little short straws or the piece of wood or whatever they were whittling on. And the lot fell to Matthias, and he was added to the 11 apostles. That's just the end of Acts 1. So they got their 12th one. I mean, this is probably not the best way of handling the situation. I don't think they're like, we don't care. Just whoever they played heads up, 7 up, right? And so that's what it seems like to me. Anyway, that's how it got done, and God gave the Matthias the right one, so we're fine, all right? So Simply Church is really going to carry on from there. I just kind of wanted to give you some closure to chapter 1, all right? Simply Church is, what's the point? What is the whole point of why are we going through Acts? Why are we going through the whole book of Acts? There's 26 chapters. Why does each point matter? What is the big deal from going from the Gospels to Acts? And I've showed you this several times, but I'm gonna build upon this as we continue. So the Gospels it really ends in death. It really ends in Jesus taking our sins and covering it and taking our sins. By His stripes we are healed. But we also see a lot of people handling it, especially the apostles, handling it in a way that we're kind of disappointed of. We see the gospel, we see Christianity, not philosophy. And so that's why the other half, the first half is darkness and death and not fruitful. But Acts is really when the church begins, and which is Acts 2, right, at Pentecost, is when the church actually begins. But we're going to see it go from, we're going to see people like Peter and all these other guys, and women for that matter, go from something that is just a religious, it's staunch and stale. It's like the shirt when you get from the cleaners and it's just too starchy. We don't really, it looks nice, it's fine, but nobody's really comfortable in it, right? Like nobody really likes that. And so it goes to Acts where you're comfortable with it, but you're also going out and you're sharing it, and you got the real boots on where you go to work and you walk and you're going places, and it's not just a looks thing. This is a real feel. This is a blossoming thing. And so the reason I use blossoming is it's really about Christian maturity. It's really about how mature we get as a people. And so it starts with salvation, and it goes, we're going to go through this just a little bit, but I think where we often get caught in American churches, the very first step here from where we read Acts is salvation and baptism. That's often where we stop as American Christians. To the people, and we have all these big events, and then that's it. There's really no more from there. There's no discipleship. My thesis when I was getting my master's in seminary is, it was the very first paper I ever wrote to the very last paper after it took me, 5-6 years, something like that, and I still didn't have any answer, because the first question was, what's more important, church growth in population or church growth in maturity? Because I wasn't seeing it in there. So I wanted to study this and find out 5 years later. I do a survey of I think it was 4 or 5 different churches in different areas in the country, and the places I served or people that I knew. There was like 1,000 people that answered the survey, and the main question I wanted to answer was, how long have you been Christians? If you are a Christian, how many people have discipled you? And it was an overwhelming 96, 97%, I can't remember exactly, had never been discipled and were never going to disciple or haven't been discipled. Like, we don't do anything, is what I'm trying to say. We get people to go to church, but then that's it. We don't do the part where Acts is like, hey, take this, what you've learned, and grow with it. So what happens is we have salvation and baptism. We make a really big deal about those because it's wonderful and it's important to make a big deal about those. Whenever somebody gets saved, there's a party in heaven, and the scripture says, and the angels and the Lord, they all are excited and they're happy. And baptism is the same thing, but this is where we leave it, where it's much more than that. There's church fellowship, there's community, and there's gospel cycle. We'll talk about that in a minute, but that's just where I want your brain to go. This is what the first church is learning how to do. All right? So you got the highlighted parts, I'll take the rest. Chapter 2, verses 1 through 4, we'll go through some more later. When the day of Pentecost had come, they were all in one place. And suddenly there came from heaven a noise like a violent rushing wind, and it filled the whole house where they were sitting. And there appeared to them as a fire distributing themselves, and they rested on each one of them. And they were all filled with the Holy Spirit, and began to speak with as the Spirit was giving them utterance. So this is the biggest of days, right? This is the biggest of days for us as believers now. This is the start of the church. This is where the church, as we know it, the fellowship of Christian believers, the unity of the gospel, the bride of Christ, this is where when Christ is married. This is the marriage ceremony of Christ to us as followers. In fact, it is huge, right? Like, it's huge. This is the business. It's bigly, all right? But I really want to go back to that part where this is hard, all right? So like Acts 2, if you come from a Southern Baptist background like I do, or Church of Christ, or other denominations that are a little bit more frozen, a little colder, and then or you come from a Assembly of God like my wife does, or things like that, the tongues is very familiar with you. You're very good, but this is something I definitely researched when I was in seminary, definitely researched as a Christian to see other denominations. This is why we're non-denominational, because I don't necessarily fit also into Southern Baptist cultures when it comes to things like this, but I also don't fit into a very Pentecostal places like this. And so we'll talk about that. I am not going to lean one way or the other. I'm not even going to tell you my opinion as far as that matters, but it'll be easy to figure out. But what I'm saying is, if you believe in a certain different way, that's okay with me. This isn't something to divide over. I have a lot of really good friends that speak in tongues. And I have a lot of really good friends that say there's no such thing as speaking in tongues. But this is the beauty of going through a whole book. This is the part parts where these are the living room questions, as we kind of got into last week with Judas hanging himself, and we saw where maybe the Bible was saying two different things when it was both saying they're both true. But this is another one. This is a living question. Like, what do you guys think? I get this one a lot. What do you think about speaking in tongues? All right? And so we're going to go through it, but this is not the point. This is not the point of the thing. It really is. The message is it's a really big day for the church. All right? Simply Church is about taking these things that are hard, that are fun, that are easy, that are confusing, all these things, and just simplifying them and see what God is really trying to do. I think a lot of times as church people, as churches, we kind of start to muddy things and we get kind of sideways and we talk about bylaws, or we talk about this, or we talk about denomination, or think, well, we should just take the Gospels and we can just take the Bible and go through it and see what it says and agree upon it. Or agree to disagree. When the day of Pentecost had come, as a church, as a Christian today, I see what is the day of Pentecost. Pentecost is when the church started, but Pentecost was around for a really long time before that. Pentecost is not something that we made up. Penti is a Greek word. It means 50. We're going to get back in there for a reason, but why does the church start? Why is the marriage ceremony on this day, right? So why here at Pentecost? What is the big deal about Pentecost? So what is Pentecost? Pentecost first it's one of the three great pilgrimages for the Jewish people. It's a festival. There was the festival or feast of Passover, which we all know about when they exited Egypt. There's Pentecost, which is the celebration of getting into Mount Sinai, as we'll talk about that in a second. And then there's the Festival of Booths, or the Festival of Tabernacles, when they all went to Jerusalem, but they also camped out. They did the Danny 3-6, right? And then they kind of camped out, but it was to be happy with what you have, basically, right? So there's the Feast of Pentecost, there's the Feast of Booths, and the Feast of Passover. 50th day. Penti means the 50th day. All that means is it's 50 days, or it's 50th day after Passover. So it was 7 weeks plus a day, all right? There was a celebration, as I talked about, into Mount Sinai. This is when Moses went up to Mount Sinai, and he spoke with God. He got the commandments, but it was, hey, you are now in the land of milk and what? Milk and what? Honey. This is the good deal, all right? So why are we doing it at Pentecost? Because Jesus says, hey, guess what? This is going to be the best thing that's ever happened to us. This is really what I've been alluding to for thousands of years, of saying this is the land of milk and honey. This is walking with me, talking with me, being with me. This is the closest thing the world has ever seen outside of the Garden of Eden. This is as good as it gets, all right? So what they did at the feast and the festival of Pentecost is at the feast and festival of Passover, they sacrificed. But at the Feast of Pentecost, they brought their first fruits of harvest. This is to celebrate their first fruits. This is the tithe, right? Their first fruits of what they got of going into the land of milk and honey. This is giving back to God, not because He needs it, but because they're showing that this is important to us, but also because the temples and everything, the people that work from, they needed food, and this is how they did it. But it's also mostly just out of worship, right? Today's first fruits is what we're going to talk about this a little bit next week. This is not the guild trip. That was over just in the announcements, all right? But just didn't want to do it. I was like, no, you can, yeah, like, we can have more people. Anyway, when I saw Jay walking with the thing, I was like, okay, we can do better than this, all right? Not that you weren't strong. I mean, I appreciated Jay, because I didn't want to carry myself, all right? I was sitting down the entire time. The first fruits today is what the church is bringing. It's called the tithe. Sorry. Everybody did this back in the first century and prior to that. Everyone did this. Well, we live now under the law of grace. And so the law was if you didn't do it, you're probably going to get in big trouble or killed, or for whatever reason, you're going to pay for it. Today we live in the law of grace. So the children of God today don't have that pressure. And so what we've done in America especially is we've held treasures really important to us. When they talk about it in the Old Testament, they didn't, like, that was just part of it. They didn't treasure food, even though there was often times that they knew God was going to provide for them, and oftentimes they didn't, and then you know the whole story. But the point is, 14% of, I say every Sunday churchers, I like to use the word churchers, but every Sunday people, every Sunday, I don't want to say church members, but people that go to church regularly, 14%, and I said tithe because that means just give anything. Like only 14, this is throwing a 20 in the pot, or throwing a 5, or whatever you got, or if it's been a good month or a bad month, or you had a refrigerator go out, this is just throwing something there. All right, so 14%. What that means is 86% of people that attend church regularly, that know the law of grace, that know the law of law, and they choose to say, okay, this is only just a portion of what I have. Okay, there's no guilt trip. I'm just giving you the point. In fact, the context of what I'm going to go is not about money. All right, 5% of that 14% actually gives the 10%. Does that make sense? I know it's a lot of percentages. So really 5% less of 14%. All right, so you got your 86%, and you got your 14%, and then 5% of this 14% actually give the full tithe. So he's saying everybody came and gave the first fruits, and they're saying what happened is over time in the law of grace, 86% of people, if not more, are going, not that big a deal. That's where we've gone. I'm just telling you, I'm showing you because I think the context is not money, but I think it's a problem that goes even further. And the problem is in our hearts. The problem is what we give. The problem is what we worship and what we intend to do with our lives beyond that. All right. So just remember, 86% are the ones that they don't give anything at all. When the day of Pentecost had come, they were all together in one place. So why are they all together? Everybody's here. There's one of 3 great feasts, right? So every clean and healthy male you're going to bring your family to was commanded to be in Jerusalem. 100% of you, of us, of them, of y'all, whatever it is you want to refer to, 100%, unless you had the coronavirus, you did not have to go, all right? But unless you're a leper, you were cast out. But these are extreme situations. If you had a broken leg, you were pretty much, you were going to go. 100%. Not 86%, not 14%, not 5%, but 100% of people were commanded to be in Jerusalem. Not only that, but you're bringing food with you, you're bringing your tithe, and you're going, because this is what it was to worship the law, to worship God in those days. We are not under the law, and so things have changed, right? And so now it turns into 100%, turns into 14%, give some, 5% give what's commanded of us. Every clean and out, a lot of people are there. There's the point. A lot of people are there. In fact, every Jerusalem, every Jewish, every Hebrew person is in Jerusalem, right? The reason they did this is Exodus 19, 3-6. Moses went up to God. Here's the whole context of the Feast of Pentecost. Moses went up to God, and the Lord called to him from the mountain, saying, that's Mount Sinai, thus you shall say to the house of Jacob, that's the Israelites, and tell the sons of Israel, you yourselves have seen what I did. You've seen it. You've experienced this. This is what worship is. You've experienced this to the Egyptians. You got yourself out. You know what I've done. You've seen it. And how I bore you on eagle's wings. This is a big one. He's using an allegory. He's using an illustration to see how majestic this is. That he did that. Not them, but he did that and brought you to myself. He didn't bring them into a land. He didn't bring them into just salvation, but he brought them to himself. That's what we forget. The 86%, I think I forgot. He brought him to himself. Not to church, not to heaven, but himself today. Now then, if you will indeed obey my voice and keep my covenant, that's my promise, then you shall be my own possession. You're mine. You're mine is what he's saying. You're my people. Among all the peoples, for a reason, you are my people to be seen. For all the earth is mine. I own it all. And you shall be to me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. You need to stand out. You are not the 86%. You are not the lost. You are not the people that are just on the board. He said, I need you to be all in. You've seen it. You've experienced it. Because when you've experienced it, he said it changes your life forever. You're not a fix-sitter. You're not a sidewalker. You're not on the board where you're going, I'm lukewarm. He says, you're all in on me. Because I'm all in on you. You're a kingdom of priests and a holy nation to the rest of the world. So every clean person, there. So why Pentecost? All males were there. It was connected to them. God wanted a spectacle. He wanted all the Jewish people that were already his possession to see what he's about to do and make the church. He's about to see something. He's about to make something. He's wanting them to see a spectacle. And he has a purpose for what is going to happen here at Pentecost. Everyone's here. What's the point? What's the point of this whole thing? It's about Christian maturity. He wants people to be mature. He doesn't. What's the way of somebody who's always said it? He loves you so much that he doesn't want you to stay where you are. There's going to be times, and part of discipleship, part of growth, there's pains, there's uncomfortable, there's all these sorts of things that he's saying, you're not intended to stake your salvation in baptism. If you hang your hat as a 50-year-old as a Christian that's been a Christian for so many years, but you hang your hat on with a decision and a thing you did when you were 8 years old in front of the church and you got dunked in the water, he's saying, and that's it? That's all you haven't grown after that? He said, there's a problem with this. You would call that unhealthy. If I was planting a garden and it was just this little twig here, that would not be a healthy plant for me. If it stayed there and I didn't get the corn, I didn't get the jalapenos, I didn't get the greenery, or whatever it is, pepper, because that's all I think about. But if I didn't get all of that, there would be something wrong with the health of that thing. There's something drastically wrong if 96, 97% of our churches are not being discipled or not discipling, and 86% are just not bringing, they're just giving nothing, they're just showing up. There's something unhealthy about our churches. There's a reason 78% of Murray County is unchurched. And I think it starts with our churches, is what I'm saying. It starts with the people. It starts with the seed. It starts with me as a pastor and the people that are feeding the saints. My job is to equip the saints. Your job is to work. That's just how it goes. And I still work. I go out there because I'm being fed by other pastors. I'm being fed by the Bible. I'm being fed by the Holy Spirit. I'm doing these things too, but it's not for everybody else. It's for me. That's what we have to take ownership of. This is not where I'm happy with, being just saved and going to heaven. Because you can question that as much as you want, but if the only part of your salvation is whether you go to heaven, I would say that's pretty selfish motives. That's a pretty selfish motive, and I would probably examine that. I would examine that. If your salvation is about worshiping God, I think that's more important in the Bible. The idea of a personal faith I hear a lot it's just not a biblical one. It's just not. People often say to me, well, I just think it's a personal choice. Yes, it is a personal choice to be saved. It's very personal. It's a relationship, very personal. God takes it very personally. But it's not intended to be only for you. Because if it was only for you, and it was only for salvation, then He would take you up into heaven and we'd never see you again. There's a reason for this, because God wants a spectacle. God wants a spectacle of His name. He wants people to know His name through you. He wants people to see that you are not the same person as you were last week when you went to church. You're not the same person as the person when you got saved and baptized. You've grown, you've matured, and everybody has different steps, and everybody takes a different walk. And I totally understand. Sometimes it takes a lot longer, but I think it takes a lot longer because in our churches we're not talking about these things, and that falls on the pastors. They just want people to come back. These are things that it's uncomfortable to say. For me, it's uncomfortable for you to hear. But if you're the same, then I'm not doing my job, and I'm not accountable to you. I'm accountable to the Lord. These are things that's been going on since the beginning of time. Stop being comfortable with where you are. And they were all filled with the Holy Spirit and began to speak with other tongues. Okay, we said that over here. Everyone's like, I don't even like you right now, Val. All right, let's start over. And they were all filled with the Holy Spirit and began to speak with other tongues. And this is like when you're like, oh man, where's you going with this, right? As the Spirit was giving them utterance. They're just speaking, I guess. Now there were Jews living in Jerusalem, devout men from every nation under... Okay, we're just going to stop right there. Devout men. These are the people that are sold out. These are the all in. This isn't the 86% that are just showing up. This is the 4%, the 5% that are going, I'm doing everything I can. I'm devout. I'm doing everything. The Bible calls them devout. Not me. Not the other believers. Not the other followers. But the Bible Himself, God Himself. himself says, these are devout, these love me, these are devoted to me, from every nation, from everywhere. But what happens next is that we often see in our churches, and it's often our pastors as well, seminary, we talk about these things. Devout people are often the most blind. You'll have to know that. When your devotion is, I'm really devoted, I don't need to grow, or I'm not paying attention to that because I'm doing it, that's when you're most blind. And it's often in our churches. He's saying the most devoted people are usually the blind ones. When we see 78% of Murray County not churched, not going to church, not being a part of a church that they love, that loves them, that prays for them, that prays for their families, their Cookville or the Harper, or whatever the situation calls. But just so you know, in your prayers, Harper is the little girl that we put all over social media, but her father is a pastor at one of the churches in Cookville, and the other pastor at the same church, he also lost his son. His son died, and another person from that church also died in the tornadoes. There's a lot of tragedy around us. There's a lot of tragedy. And oftentimes, as church people, we're blind to it. We're just somebody will take care of it. Like, if all we can do is just share a page, like, fine, let's do it. But if you feel God say, hey, you need to get up, leave work for a few days and go help, please. Please do. All right? Let's not be blind to it anymore. Now, there were Jews living in Jerusalem, devoted men under devotion from every nation under heaven. And when this sound occurred, the crowd, it was a sound from heaven. It was different than a noise. It was sound from heaven. And when this sound occurred, the crowd came together. They figured out what was going on. They identified the source of it, and they went. Because God wanted a spectacle, and he wanted to use people to affect everybody else around him. And they were bewildered because each one of them was hearing them speak in his own language. This is very important. They were amazed and astonished, saying, why are not all these who are speaking Galileans? That's the Jewish people. The language is Aramaic. And how is it that we each hear them in our own language? Very important. To which we were born. Parthians and Medes and Elamites and residents of Mesopotamia, Judea and Cappadocia, Pontus and Asia. I'm just kidding. I did that on purpose. So you're paying attention. Phrygia and Pamphylia. You just have to say it with, like, just go through it. Like, I don't know if that's the correct way of enunciating, but you just have to say it, right? He's got a Parker's literally like this. Basically, people from all over, all right? Egypt, it's like New York City. In the districts of Libya, around Cyrene, and visitors from Rome, both Jews and proselytes, those are people that were born not Jewish, but converted to Judaism, right? Cretans and Arabs, we hear them in our own language. It's very important. Speaking of the mighty deeds of God. What were the tongues speaking about? The mighty deeds of God. And they were speaking in their own tongues. And they all continued in amazement and great perplexity, saying to one another, what does this mean? This is the devoted people saying, what does this mean? They're seeing a miracle. They know it's a miracle. Don't lose context of our own 21st century. Speaking in tongues, real is this? What are they talking about? Pay attention to the bigger story. Devoted people are seeing a miracle. The followers of Christ, the followers in church are seeing miracles. They have an opportunity, but here's how they react. But others were mocking and saying they are drunk. It's not real. They see a miracle. They have an opportunity. Like I said, it's not about tithing, but they're like, it's not for me. My money's more important. I work for this. Discipleship, I don't know enough. Well, you can get discipled. You can ask somebody to disciple. Yeah, I don't have time. I'm so busy. They're mocking. It's for other people, for Jesus freaks. The devoted people, like these are people that are all in. It's always for somebody else. And they're mocking you. Devoted people are often the most unwilling to change. That's just the facts. People have been going to church for so many years. They've grown blind, and they're grown unwilling to change and find a way to reach that 78% of our county. Those are the churches that we exist in. We've all come from those churches. We've all been a part of those churches. It's not their fault. It's our fault. It's our fault. We're the ones. We have an opportunity at Sweetwater. We have Kalliope. That's the number, 78% of Kalliope alone is 3,500 people. That's a lot of people. We don't need to build a church. We just need to be the church, right? Like, we just need to stop saying it's for somebody else and start doing it ourselves. So enough of that part. So let's talk tongues. All right? That's what everybody's really excited about, right? I can see Jimmy, the alien's back there. He's like using his baritone voice at the end of the band. Here we go. Settle up. So let's talk tongues. What are they? You said it a bunch of times. It's known languages in their own language. It's not gibberish. It's not gibberish. It's not a language that nobody understands. All these people from different areas. I'm from Texas, right? And so they all came, and there's Jewish people, and all the people from Colombia were speaking Texan, right? Like, sometimes there's a little bit, but it was even more so. They were speaking Spanish. They didn't know it. Jimmy, do you know Spanish? Are you fluent in Spanish? You know a couple words, maybe? Maybe the bad words? Somebody came into Ace where you work, and they came in, they only spoke Spanish, and all of a sudden you see this flying sound, right? Of a tongue on fire, it lands in your lap, and you start speaking Spanish, and you start speaking the gospel to this guy. Would you say that's a miracle? What did everybody else say? Is he drunk? Like, I didn't know. I mean, kid, yeah, we know, but that's a miracle. And they were all together, and they all said it wasn't an unknown language. It wasn't gibberish. It wasn't gibberish, right? It was purpose to glorify God publicly. I hear a lot of terms like my own private prayer language. That's not public. I don't know that that's biblical. There's probably arguments for it. I don't see that in the Bible. I could be wrong. It's never a biblical qualifier for salvation. It's never a biblical qualifier for salvation. You can find this. There's also in 1 Corinthians, right there where we're going to talk about it. It gives kind of what's happening for the speaking in tongues. You can't say it doesn't exist because it's obviously existing. This isn't Old Testament. This is New Testament, right? It's tongues. It's happening. It's happening. It's real. Acts, you can say Acts is a transitional book. I think that's kind of not taking it literally. Like, it's saying, I don't speak in tongues. I don't know how to interpret tongues. I don't know how to do it, but I know it's a known language. I speak Spanish, so if I started speaking Spanish, this is my first language. I'm sorry, I hate admitting that publicly. All right, but I don't know why. It's weird. And so it would not be me speaking in tongues if I started speaking Spanish. Sometimes I'll sing in Spanish with Madison, just at church. I'll start singing in Spanish. It's not unknown. Ben, it wouldn't be you speaking in tongues if you spoke Spanish. You know Spanish very, very well, by the way. More than I do. Jake, it wouldn't be. But if you started speaking Aramaic, if you start speaking Greek, Yiddish, whatever it is, that's the known language. But it wouldn't be you just singing the song. It wouldn't be me and Ben having a conversation. It would be me and Ben talking to somebody in their own language from either Mexico, Guatemala, or whatever it is, whatever Spanish-speaking tongue, and preaching the gospel to them and showing the gospel to them and really bringing the message of salvation to them. It's not just singing songs or knowing incantation or whatever it is. Right, so 1 Corinthians 14 also goes further on, and they start talking about, okay, you can't do it more than once. If you want to investigate that, please do. 1 Corinthians 14. It's free for you to read all week, all right? And even next week. So let's get back to the context. But why here now? Why here now? We've talked about it a few times, but why here now? Why Pentecost? Because it's a party, right? Everybody's here. God wanted a spectacle, right? Look at everybody. I didn't make this map. I'm sorry. I ran out of time. So everybody's from all over, and they're all in one place. They're all in one place. They're even from Rome in the top left corner, and they make a trip. These are 100% all-in people. Oftentimes, we don't even want to drive to the other side of Colombia to go to church, right? Like, these people are coming. These people are coming, because this is one of the 3 great ones. And they do it 3 every year. And they're bringing something. They're worshiping. They're coming from all over. So why tongues? Of all things. Because God wanted a spectacle. God wanted a spectacle. Everybody's from all over, right? And he's doing it in their language. He's telling them, this is church. This is my bride. I'll do anything for her. I have done anything for her. God made a spectacle. Pentecost now is the opposite of Tower of Babel. The Tower of Babel, everybody was making their own, and they came in, this Old Testament, they came in, and everybody had the same language, and they said, we're going to build a tower really high because we're going to get to heaven. We're going to be God. And God said, guess what? Nobody speaks the same language anymore. Because why? Because everybody was coming to one place. Right? What happens when you come to one place? You forget about everybody else, right? We've seen that in our churches. So he said, everybody speaks different language, and now you have to scatter out. Now you have to talk to one another. As painful as it sounds, God cares that you build relationships outside of your own circle. Right? Me and Jay talked about it this week, right? It's painful. I know that. But that's biblical. It's the opposite. Now he's showing everybody we can all speak the same language. The same language is salvation in Jesus Christ. It should be on your lips. Know it. It should be on the back of your hand. It should be on your desk. It should be not for things that are visible, but invisible. But it should be visible in you. People should see you walking with the Holy Spirit. It says, stop being blind. Stop ignoring. There's 78% of people out there that need me. It's your job to do it. It's your job. It's not about bringing money in. It's not about tithing. It's about going out and selling out and saying, yeah, it's uncomfortable for me to talk to people or have people at my house or go to their house or have conversations about it with my family. But this is what he's called me to do. If they ask, answer it. But make it important to you. The object of this is to glorify and scatter. Just like it was the Tower of Babel. Because guess what? In other words, the whole thing is evangelism is God's top priority. Like it's really important. Going to work, coming home,